Okay, so welcome to another episode. I hope you liked the format in the last episode. We'll give it another shot for this episode. So, I went online real late tonight. As a matter of fact, this morning, I didn't get online until about 2. I was pretty much busy all day. So, as I get on Facebook, I start seeing posts. Apparently, there was a WWE house show at Madison Square Garden, and the big match was Brock Lesnar versus Kevin Owens. Pretty good match. And I immediately started seeing posts about Brock Lesnar squashing Kevin Owens. And of course, as I mentioned in the last episode, we're getting these group of fans who now their resistance is against the part timers. Their favorites aren't going to be in the big WrestleMania matches, so now their fight is against the part timers. And like I mentioned in my last episode, they have their crosshairs on Brock Lesnar, who they've hated for the last 3 years since he beat The Undertaker and ended the streak at WrestleMania. He's a part timer. Brock doesn't respect the business. He's only in it for the money. Of course he's in it for the money. What do you work at your job for? And he doesn't respect the business. Why? Because Brock Lesnar says he doesn't care about. He's not a mark. All he cares about is his bank account. Yeah, there's a famous quote by Captain Lou Albano, as told by Kevin Nash in the shoot interviews. Captain Lou told him, "Kid, the only two things real in this business are the money and the miles. That's it. Who cares if Brock Lesnar doesn't wrestle every week? Do we really have to see Brock Lesnar on TV every week to do what? So he could destroy half the roster? And then what would the same fans are going to say? Oh, well, Brock, he's keeping everybody down. Oh, he's too strong. They're pushing him too strong. Brock Lesnar is a special attraction, which means he's the less is more. So anyway, getting back to this infamous match, now not even 24 hours old, at a house show where people already kept already complaining about Brock beating Kevin Owens. It's not right. It's not fair. Why? WWE's booking Kevin Owens like shit. Oh, please give me a break. And I'm gonna show you some comments. And please, I'm not. I don't make them up. I'm not gonna. I don't put the names of who wrote these comments because I don't want to. It's not right and whatever. I don't have their permission. But they sure are entertaining. So this is a post from a Facebook page, and the post was Lesnar squashed Kevin Owens at a house show tonight. I know it's only a house show and it doesn't count. Really? You mean to tell me these matches don't go in the official record book, the WWE record book? How come? What matches count? When do matches count? So some matches don't count and some matches do count. Do matches on Raw count? I don't know. That's a good question, but I thought anytime you step into the ring and the bell rings, it's a match that counts. So, but imagine if Brock Lesnar, Goldberg, Austin or Undertaker, or anyone back then, I guess they mean back in the day, lost to a part timer in a squash match at a house show back then. I can't imagine. No, I don't. I can't. I don't really know what you're talking about. Back then, what do you mean? Who was a part timer back then? There were no part timers back then. This part timer stuff started with uh, The Rock when he came back after leaving, and he came back to go up against Cena, and it was those promos with Cena when he accused The Rock of being a phony, and he's only coming back part time, and Cena's not a phony, and he's there full time, and he's never leaving. And then of course, and then it got more and more with the Chris Jericho when he would leave and take a leave of absence and come back for a few months, and then go back to his band. These are the guys that really started the part timer stuff. So fans in attendance would probably not see them as threatening or credible. Again, who would they lose to that were part timer? The only thing close I could think of is when Austin infamously took his ball home when Vince wanted Austin to put Brock Lesnar over. And Austin didn't want, it's not that he didn't want to put Brock Lesnar over, he just didn't want to do it on TV in the first round of the tournament. He would have put Brock over on pay-per-view. So, and again, I don't know what a part-timer is. So the reason they're struggling to create stars is because they always have to show us why past wrestlers are better than current wrestlers by embarrassing them. Which past wrestlers have embarrassed current wrestlers? I don't understand. Did Bruno Sammartino come back and beat up Seth Rollins? I don't really understand this. Well, of course, these same fans, they'll say nothing when a celebrity like Hugh Jackman comes uh, as a guest host and punches out a wrestler, or Michael Strahan tackles somebody. That they're okay with. You never hear anything about that, but they're upset about somebody from the past, back from the past. Last year was the past, so if somebody comes back from last year, is that bad? I really don't understand that, and it's not only this post or fan. It's a common it's becoming a common trend. So I guess I don't even understand what he says. These guys should strong everywhere. These guys should strong everywhere they wrestle. Should be strong everywhere they wrestle. Oh, be strong anywhere they wrestle. Okay. It doesn't matter if it's TV or non-televised event. Well, usually a non-televised event, they could do things they don't do on TV because it's a smaller crowd in the smaller towns, and they always have done that. They've always experiment. They always experiment at house shows in small towns that are on TV. Of course, these are the same. Nobody complained in the fall when Roman Reigns the U.S. champion, was wrestling Kevin Owens, the Universal champion, all over the country in Canada, and Roman Reigns was going over Kevin Owens clean every night. Nobody said anything about that, of course. When Kevin Owens was the Universal champion and Roman Reigns was the U.S. champion, nobody said anything about that. How Roman Reigns was beating him 6 nights a week, sometimes twice on Sundays, clean. So anyway, Brock, they would have had you think from their descriptions tonight that uh, Brock and Owens faced off, and Brock just started suplexing Owens 20 times, F5'd him, and then wiped his boots on his shirt, on his chest. I actually saw a video of the match. Kevin Owens, for the first 35 seconds, 45 seconds, was dominating Brock. Brock is so awesome. He's such an incredible performer. He let Kevin Owens get all his stuff in. If you see the match, you'll know what I'm talking about. Kevin Owens was destroying Brock for the first 45 minutes of the match. He was pounding him, kneeing him. He got Brock down in the corner, and Kevin Owens did the cannonball. It was the equivalent if Mike Tyson in his prime, nearly getting knocked out in the first minute of the first round. And then, of course, Brock made his comeback. He made the fans happy with suplexes and did an F5. So, but I mean, according to these fans, they probably wanted to see a half-hour match. Well, they didn't really want to see it. They just wanted to hear about it. They wanted to probably hear about a half-hour match that it was a all-out war between these two, and then what happens if one of them gets hurt? What happens if Brock gets hurt? Then WWE's plans are in the toilet. But of course, these fans would probably be happy and cheer if Brock got hurt because they're losers. That's why. My favorite, my favorite guy, Cesaro, he should be in WrestleMania main event. Even more, the NXT guys is really popular. Nakamura should main event WrestleMania, even though nobody knows who he is in America, except for maybe 5,000 fans, 10,000 fans. So let's get to it. A part timer versus a full timer. Oh, I guess we know guys like Brock are part timers. What's a full timer? I don't understand. Is a guy like Enzo Amore a full timer? I want to know how many matches do you need to wrestle to qualify as a full timer? I'm curious. How many matches in a year? I mean, last week I had somebody say that somebody had to wrestle at least twice a month to even be allowed to wrestle on any card. So that means somebody like Brock Lesnar and Goldberg have to wrestle twice a month to be on a card. And who's drawing the money for these shows? Enzo Amore? Listen, Enzo Amore could wrestle 20 times a day for 10 years and will never ever draw the amount of money that Brock Lesnar will in 1 week. How you do it? Sorry about that. So then I heard another young guy, telling me that Brock Lesnar needs to push younger guys. Oh, that's what he needs to do. So Brock Lesnar, in his prime, needs to start jobbing out to guys who might not be in the business in 3 years. Is that what you're telling me? That's a great plan. Let's make WWE is going to take their biggest draw and have him job out to younger guys. I don't even know who these younger guys are. And when I asked him, he tells me I was trying to say Randy Orton got back from being hurt. His first match back was against Lesnar. See, I didn't understand what he was trying to say. I was assuming he was trying to say that Brock Lesnar should have put Randy Orton over. But Randy Orton is a younger guy that needs to be pushed by Brock Lesnar, a 13-time world champion, a 12-year veteran, 15-year veteran. Then he sticks with it, and he says, "So Randy Orton is a younger guy." I told him, "So Randy Orton is a younger guy that needs to be pushed by Brock. Is that what you stick with?" And sure enough, he did stick with it. So this is the rationale you have, fans. I'm sure he's probably trolling and having a little fun, but I mean, listen, you're only showing yourself to be a fool. So we've seen all the hatred and vitriol for these so-called part-timers, but of course there's certain part-timers who are above criticism and reproach. You know, like that one guy who shows up every year around WrestleMania and dominates the spotlight. You know who I'm talking about, right? The Undertaker. Yeah, nobody ever says anything about him. If Brock Lesnar's a part timer, then Brock Lesnar, what is he? I mean, Undertaker, what is he? He wrestles once a year, on average, once a year, maybe twice a year. Nobody complains about him. And then the other guy in the middle, Triple H, the new genius god, people call him. Remember last year, he the part timer. This guy is the COO. He's not even a wrestler. But no, he had to come back, win the Royal Rumble, win the WWE title, and then he only defended it once in 2 months before main eventing WrestleMania. That's not hogging up the spotlight, right? Over Triple H puts younger guys over. Who did he put over? Roman Reigns? The guy, Superman? Cena 2.0? Yeah, that really went great last year in the main event. And then, of course, remember Shawn Michaels? When he was part time and he started having his pay-per-view matches and his Mr. WrestleMania against The Undertaker. Nobody says anything about him. And yeah, I bet if you added up these three guys' matches combined in the last 5 years, I bet you they wouldn't get to a baker's dozen. But in closing, and I'm going to say this for the last time, you do not make stars at WrestleMania. You don't make stars at WrestleMania. Stars are not born at the WrestleMania event. You build up guys during the year. You make them stars during the year. You don't make guys stars or performer stars at WrestleMania. When these guys have to go around doing promotional interviews on ESPN, MTV, or whoever, the reporters know who they are. Do you think if Cesaro or Bray Wyatt main event of WrestleMania, you know how embarrassing it would be when the reporters would go up to him and say, "Who are you? You really? Oh, I never heard of you. Oh, are you new? Come on, be serious." These guys are the draw. People, they have name recognition. That's why they are allowed to be part timers, because they could be off for 6 months to come back and they're just as popular, and people want to see them more than anybody else. So that's it. Like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon.